All right, let's get started. Hello, beautiful Scorpio people. My name is Jessica from Prospect Park Tarot, and I'm here to deliver to you your monthly reading for the month of August 2020. So there aren't any major introductions that I have to give you all, so we're just going to jump right in. And I'm already shuffling your cards, so let's begin with our prayer before we start the reading. Thank you so much, Spirit, for using me as a vessel to transmit those messages you believe the Scorpio people deserve and need to receive at this time. I ask for confidence, I ask for clarity, and I ask for cohesion as we embark upon this reading to give the Scorpio people the news and information that will serve them on their highest path for the month of 2020. For the month of August 2020. All right, so now that is done, let's get started. The way we're going to do this reading is we're going to do a 9-card spread. I'm going to read every card individually just so that you all kind of get a feel for the meaning of the cards and you can read it for yourself, but I'm also going to read it for you, right? So we can come to our own separate conclusions and come and meet in the middle. All right, let's get started. Thank you so much. So the first 2 cards out. The first one is Temperance. The Temperance is the card of the Sagittarius. This is the card of patience. This is the card of moderation. And this is the card of taking things one step at a time to make sure that we are balanced as we are moving forward. The next one we have is the 7 of Pentacles, which gives me the same vibe. For the month of August 2020, it definitely feels like you may need to start on the note of patience. Because with the 7 of Pentacles, this one talks about the impatience we have when we're working so hard towards something or when we want something, but we've done some work and the result hasn't really showed itself yet. So it's this feeling of, when is this going to come? When is this job going to happen? When is my life going to start? When are things going to start to move around? But with these 2 cards beside each other, Spirit's definitely telling you very quickly, be patient. You know, don't stop. Don't lose faith in whatever it is, because great things take time. And especially if you want to build something like a business or a certain situation like that, every ounce of effort you give matters. Even if you don't feel like putting in that effort, Spirit is saying, don't worry, you will be paid soon. Don't give up. All right, so the next card we have is the 9 of Swords in the reverse. I feel like a lot of you may be recovering from a situation as it pertained to some kind of loss, some kind of anxiety or grief or worry, or there's this feeling of needing to revisit those emotions. There's a feeling of needing to revisit the emotions that kind of keep us up at night, that kind of give us anxiety, but I want to see why. Why is the 9 of Swords in the reverse here? Can we get a little more specific? We have the 5 of Cups, so I feel like this situation has to do with an ex or someone that you care about or someone that you love. With these 2 cards, I'm getting a feeling of loneliness, getting a feeling of maybe while I'm in bed at night, I'm thinking of this relationship that I used to have. I'm thinking of this relationship that I want to have. There's this feeling of, I wish they would call me, or maybe I should call just to say hello. But I definitely get the feeling of feeling as if a situation or a relationship that you lost wasn't completely done. I'm not completely over this situation. That's what I'm getting for you, Scorpio people. So the next one we have is the 9 of Wands in the reverse. The 9 of Wands talks about the courage that we have after we've been through everything that we've been through, whatever hardship, whatever that looked like for you. This is the feeling of having the courage to kind of build your walls back up, not in a way to defend yourself, but in a way to protect yourself. But with it being in the reverse, it gives me that defensive energy. It gives me the energy of, I've been through all these things. I don't really feel like getting back out. I don't feel like opening myself up, so I'm going to wall myself in, right? I'm going to wall myself in with all of my experiences instead of building a fortress to where you can stand on top and be stronger from this situation. With the 9 of Wands in the reverse, it gives me the feeling of, I'm going to build these walls around me, not under me, right? Let's continue to see where this 9 of Wands energy is leading you. Thank you so much. The heart of your reading is the Page of Cups. So Definitely. Okay. I was picking up on this energy before I started your reading, but I wanted to hold off just in case the cards wanted to say something else. I didn't want to influence the direction of the reading, but I feel like that's very clear. So the heart of your reading is the Page of Cups. When I see the Page of Cups, I think of somebody who spends a lot of time dreaming, somebody who spends a lot of time being creative, thinking up ideas. Maybe this person is artistically inclined. Maybe this person lives a very lavish lifestyle in their head, right? Which is completely fine. With this card being in the heart of your reading, this one also gives me the feeling of, can we create the things we think about? How can we begin to be the person we think we are? Does that make sense? There's this quote from the book Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh that says, be and decide who you really are. And by that he meant, with every situation that you encounter, what position do you hold in that situation? What kind of person are you in this situation? What kind of person are you in this relationship? And once you decide who you want to be in that situation, then you be that, not only in your head, but also in your actions. So with this Page of Cups, I also get the feeling of paying attention to the time that we spend, right? Because I know this is COVID season, right? We might be locked up at home, or we might be working real hard. Life for everybody is a little different right now, or a little bit the same. It's up to you. But with this Page of Cups, it gives me a feeling of somebody who might be losing track of time. For somebody, the days may seem to be blending. There may seem to be no major impact, and there's this tendency to get stuck in a dream, which is not a completely terrible thing. Of course it's not, right? But the main thing that I want to tell you guys is, because we have this Temperance and because we have the Seven of Pentacles, these two things talk about time, and it talks about being rewarded through time, being rewarded through patience, of putting in that effort, continuing to water those seeds, even if you feel like nothing's completely growing. It's this feeling of time favors the practical, right? Time favors the people who wake up and keep track of time. It favors the people who do things on a consistent basis, right? And with the heart of your reading being the Page of Cups, there's this feeling of, when I open my eyes, what I expected to see there isn't necessarily there. So I'm just going to keep idealizing whatever it is that I may be feeling. And for the idealist, time doesn't necessarily exist. Time's kind of like this social construct. It stretches, it shrinks. When we sleep, we may have gone through 10, 20, 50 years. But when we wake up, we only realize we've only gone through a couple of hours. So there's this feeling of, that's okay if you don't see what it is you want to see, but don't count yourself out in August, right? It's not over. Whatever the situation is, it is still growing, right? It is still manifesting itself, and it needs you to believe that whatever it is that you want, or whatever it is that you want to work towards, will come with time and practicality, right? Let's continue. Thank you so much. All right, so the next one we have is the Sun. I love this card, right? The Sun talks about positivity. It talks about exposing ourselves. It talks about being vulnerable to the truth that we have and the truth of the world. How accountable can I be for my reality? How clearly can I see reality? You feel me? With the Sun card, it gives me the feeling of, this month of August, you have the opportunity to see the world the way in which it actually is. And you have a choice to make pertaining to what reality looks like for you. Will you choose to pretend like there's nothing you can do, that I have no control? Or will you open yourself up to the possibilities that you have? Will you open yourself up to the solutions that are available to you? All you have to do is reach out and ask for them. Let's continue. All right, what else for the beautiful Scorpio people? We got the Chariot energy, so definitely Scorpio people. There's this push to move. There's this push to keep going, right? With this Chariot card, it talks about balancing ourselves, balancing your shadows and balancing your light, and working with them in tandem to move forward. If you were having arguments with people, if you were disagreeing with people, especially I see that with this Nine of Swords right here, this could be you wanting to block somebody out from talking to you, or defend yourself from a certain situation, or kind of cover yourself from a certain situation. But with this Chariot card, it gives me the feeling of begin to integrate the energies that were discordant before. You know, how can I open up to this person and tell this person how I feel, and show this person that I really understand that where they're coming from, so we can begin to move forward, right? And this is not to, this is not to say this situation will immediately just mend itself. Although it can, right? Although it can. Everybody's situation is different. But this is just to say you might need a refresher. You might need a reminder that shows you that you can continue and that time is still going and you are still moving, right? So there's a need to reconcile discordant energies. All right, the last two cards for your 9-card spread came out. Let's see what they're looking like. So the first one we have is the Two of Pentacles, and the second one we have is the Four of Pentacles. So let's start with the two. With the Two of Pentacles, I'm getting the same feeling of choice. I'm getting the feeling of how can you actively embrace the choice that you need to make. How can you be present for the choices that you need to make, right? So after this Sun card, after this Sun card and after this Chariot card, when we see the reality of our situation, when we see what it is that we need to work on, or what opportunities we have to grow and to continue and to pursue, what are we going to do with those choices, right? How can you be practical with the time you have? How can you be practical with the effort that you give? How present are you for the people in your life? How present are you for your job? How present are you for your passions? And there's a need with this Two of Pentacles to choose. Should I stay and work physically? Or should I stay here in the dream world and continue to daydream and to manifest things without physically creating them? Does that make sense? The choice is yours, of course. I am not opposed to idealists. I am not opposed to dreamers, because I am one, right? I am one. So with this one, Scorpio, if you really fall into that, characteristic of sometimes my head's in the clouds, sometimes I don't know what's going on, that's completely fine. And I believe some of our most creative people come from that place. But when it comes to implementing your visions, when it comes to implementing your intuitive nudges and your spiritual downloads, Spirit is saying, continue to water those plants. Continue to water your opportunities that are still budding, and do so physically and realistically and accountably. And the last card we have for this 9-card spread is the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles talks about the need to heed with caution. And there's a lot of Pentacles energy in this reading, 3 to be exact, actually. But with these Pentacles, it's definitely giving me the vibe of be practical with your time. And I feel like that's the energy that you're coming up on. Maybe you're starting a new job, you're starting school again, maybe you're starting a new relationship. But with this, it's this feeling of I'm taking good care of my energy and I'm taking good care of my effort. Because when the opportunity comes to spend it, I want to spend my energy, my money, and my effort on channels that are open, channels that are reciprocal, right? So this is the card for me, the card of investment, right? The card of I'm going to hold this until the right opportunity comes along to where I can open my hand and I can open my purse, so that when I give, I receive. And I want to make sure I do that. I do so lucidly, and do so with intention. Your underlying energy is the Six of Wands. You guys may be in the spotlight. You guys may be getting a promotion. You guys may be hanging out with friends, however that works for you. But there's this feeling of don't shy away from attention. Don't shy away from being seen. Or maybe there's this want and this need to be seen. There's this want and there's this need to be recognized. This, where is my reward for what I've done or what I've been through? Or I need some spice in my life. I need some attention. I need somebody to boost my ego a little bit. So as it pertains to the avenues in which you can find attention, Spirit is saying go for it and cultivate those seeds that are growing, especially within your network, especially within the people that you know. You know, don't be afraid to get back out and just make yourself known and accept whatever praise you can get. All right, so that is your 9-card spread. We're going to pull 3 of these oracle cards and then 1 of these divine feminine oracle cards, and that will be your reading for the month of August 2020. Scorpio people, thank you so much. So the first card is down. Let's get 2. Let's get 1 more. Let's get 1 more. Okay, so we got 4. We're gonna take them all. That's fine. That's completely fine. So the first one says, ask a fucking expert. Don't rely on your friends or the internet. Listen to a damn professional. So this one, I feel like with this one, it talks about those opportunities that may be budding for you, or the feeling like you should be working on something or you want to be working on something, but it's not as fruitful as you hope it would be. Maybe there's a need to get a little more serious. Maybe there's a need to put a little effort in, to put your feet on the ground and ask for the help that you need to start moving forward, whatever that looks like, whether it's spending money, whether it's, you know, signing that contract, and, you know, definitely go over that with your lawyers or, you know, whatever experts you can, of course, before you do that. But there's this feeling of making things tangible and being serious about your time, because although things may seem like it's settled and things seem like they're not moving, it will later. And when you wake back up and when you're ready to kind of re-enter society and re-enter reality, you want the home you wake up to reflect your ideology and to reflect your vision and your dreams, right? All right, so the next one says, be fucking grateful. Shit could be so much worse. Take it as you will. All right, so the next one says, you were going through some tough shit. Everyone has their turn. Welcome to yours. Gather your tired ass up and handle it. Take it as you will. And then the last one, the last oracle card says, you do you. Stop trying to change people. That shit never works. All right, and let's get 1 divine feminine oracle card, and we will close off this general reading for you all. Thank you so much. All right, so your oracle card is this one right here. And it says, this is the saint of true freedom. Love is what sets me free. I am married to my own soul. The oracle card's name is Mirabai. I don't want to mess up the name. Please give me grace if I mispronounced it and you know who this goddess is. If you know who this oracle is, please don't judge me. But let's see what she has to say to us. All right, give me just 1 second to find the meaning of this card. All right, and I will read it word for word. This one says, often without even realizing it, we make choices based on external expectations, on how we think other people will perceive our actions. This card is about doing what's right for you and no one else. Ultimately, only you can know what needs to be done or said. You have this one brief life, and every second of it matters. Do you understand? The time that you're spending, it still matters, although it seems like it's all melting together. This card is about standing up for what you know is right. For you, even if others... Oh, I'm sorry, let me repeat that. This card is about standing up for what you know is right for you, even if others will judge you for it. The fear of being persecuted can convince us not to be true to who we really are. There is a love, though, that's far larger than human constructs and cultural values. Love isn't ethical. Love isn't bound by any idea of what's socially acceptable. Love is what sets us free from the expectations that bind us. Love, in whatever way it finds us, asks us to stay loyal to our own soul. Any outside force or person who asks us to betray our most intimate relationship with the divine isn't acting out of love. For this card, her true husband wasn't the one she was married to. The love that made her brave, the love that inspired her every poem and action, was a divine love for Krishna. So the laws that bound her to the strict expectations of being a wife didn't actually apply to her. Love asks us to look at what really matters to us and what we truly value. And love asks us to bravely defy expectations in order to be true to ourselves. Love wants us to marry our own soul. So with that being said, there's a new conclusion that I've come to with all of these cards, because there were two main things that stood out to me. There was a feeling of not being properly rewarded for your time, and there was also this feeling of there's a relationship that did not go quite the way I wanted it to, and I'm still feeling a way about that. So with that card being said, there's this feeling of embracing your dreams. What is it that you want when you sleep? What is it that you think about? What kind of person are you in your mind, right? And how can you integrate that into your physical life, right? So if in your mind you are carefree and you are loving, what small steps can you take to mend certain relationships? How can you coalesce who you want to be up here with who you are out here, and how other people receive you, so that you can move forward in your relationships and move forward in whatever endeavors you have going on in your life, right? So anyways, that is the reading for you Scorpio people for the month of August 2020. How do you value your time? And how do you value the people you spend the most time with? Thank you so much. I will see you guys very soon. I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your month. Bye-bye.